After 10 years of marriage, my wife finally told me the truth. I never thought a single conversation could erase a decade of my life, but that's exactly what happened after 10 years of marriage with my wife Hannah, a woman I met in my 20s, built a routine with trusted blindly, and believed would be beside me forever because our life looked normal from the outside: steady jobs, shared bills, weekend plans, inside jokes, and the kind of comfort that makes you stop asking questions until one quiet evening when she sat across from me at the dining table, staring at her hands like they were strangers, and asked if we could talk. And before I could even prepare myself, she told me she had been living a lie, that she had known for years she wasn't attracted to men, that she thought marriage would fix it, that she cared about me deeply, but never loved me the way a wife should. And I remember feeling my chest tighten as my brain refused to process her words, replaying birthdays, holidays, and promises that suddenly felt hollow. And although I didn't scream or cry, something inside me shut down completely, because how do you grieve a relationship that existed but was never fully real? And in the weeks that followed, we separated quietly, without drama, without blame, with me packing my life into boxes and moving into a small apartment that echoed with silence, where nights felt endless and sleep came only in fragments. And every morning I woke up with the same question looping in my head: how could I miss this for 10 years? And the embarrassment was almost worse than the heartbreak, because every time someone asked why my marriage ended, I saw judgment in their eyes, even when they didn't say a word. Friends slowly stopped calling, work became mechanical, and I began doubting everything about myself, my worth, my masculinity, my instincts, until one night, exhausted from pretending to be okay, I opened my laptop and started writing without thinking, pouring out the confusion, the loneliness, the anger I didn't know where to place, and the quiet grief of losing a future I had planned my entire adult life around. And without expecting anything, I posted one anonymous story online, only to wake up to hundreds of notifications from strangers who had lived similar lives, who thanked me for saying what they were too afraid to admit, who told me my words made them feel less alone. And that moment changed something inside me, because for the first time since the divorce I felt seen. So I kept writing every night, turning pain into routine, routine into discipline, and discipline into purpose, slowly building an audience that didn't know my face but knew my truth, which led to a blog, then long-form posts, then messages from people asking how to survive heartbreak. And months later I started a podcast where I spoke honestly about failure, identity, and rebuilding yourself when your foundation collapses. And while my old life fell apart, a new one quietly formed in its place, with opportunities I never imagined and confidence I never had before. And a year later, when Hannah reached out just to check in, there was no anger left, only acceptance, because we had both become people we were too afraid to be before. And looking back now, I realize my marriage ending wasn't the moment my life was ruined. It was the moment I stopped living someone else's version of stability and started building something real, because sometimes life doesn't break you loudly, it dismantles you slowly and hands you the chance to rebuild yourself from truth instead of fear.